We're going to start with our reigning XFL champions, your Arlington Renegades. These Renegades are coached by Bob Stoops. He's returning as the head coach, arguably the best coach in all of the XFL, in my opinion. He has maybe the best resume out of all the head coaches. Um, Oklahoma, I think, is what he's best known for from 99 to 2016. Quite the tenure down there. Coached some unbelievable players. And then Luis Perez, he was traded from Vegas, correct?
Luis Perez, last year he played. That's a great question. I don't remember who he played for last
He
year.
was acquired at the trade deadline by the Renegades and was able to boost them to a playoff appearance and even the XFL championship. He finished with the fourth most passing yards in the XFL with just over 1,600 yards. And this gives Stoops' squad continuity without the lack of the most important position on the field, which other teams are struggling to find that consistency. So that's one thing. We're going to go through pros and cons of each team for rooting for these teams, for fandom of these teams. So this is something I'll probably go through. Reese can talk player personnel because this is player personnel is Reese's kind of expertise. But our pros for the Arlington Renegades, they have a great color combination. I feel like this light blue and red and black, this is kind of a hot color combo right now. People are attracted to it. People are more apt to go for good uniforms than bad uniforms. Texas loves football. That's another one. You can't go wrong with Texas football. And this is an easy bandwagon team. This is a pro you can jump on board. You're probably going to win some games. You're well coached. But I could also see that as a con. It's an easy bandwagon team. People might get on you for jumping on this bandwagon because it's such an easy bandwagon. So I could see that as a con as well. Another con, they're playing in an old baseball stadium. It's remodeled quite well, but being in an old baseball stadium, some of these in-person views might not be as good as a true football stadium would be.
Yeah, that's fair. You can't go wrong with good uniforms. And in terms of vibrant uniforms, that I'm going to be honest, I think the Battlehawks. I'm a Battlehawks fan through and through. All right, but I think they have the sharpest uniforms. I think the blue and the silver is sharp in terms of the most vibrant and the most appealing uniform. I think there's a valid point there. If you're just basing off your team choice off the uniforms, this is a solid team to choose. And it also helps that they kind of won the XFL last year. So
sure.
certainly helpful. And they're going to have a solid team to root for. Now, we got to remember they kind of backdoored their way into the playoffs last year. They were on a weaker division. The Battlehawks missed the playoffs and had a better record than the Renegades did. But however, the Renegades made it in because of their divisional standing or their conference standing. Then they got hot and won the championship. So in part, Bob Stoops, incredible football coach, very, very strong resume, as you stated earlier. They've got continuity at the quarterback position because Luis Perez will be back. They've also got a strong quarterback room. So Lindsey Scott is a quarterback from Incarnate Word. And there was one point, so it's small FCS football, but he at one point was in the running, or not exactly in the running, but in terms of the Heisman quarterbacks, he had similar statistics. So he had a loud college career there for a little bit, kind of wandered off the rest of the season. Part of that was just because he's at a smaller school, but a very successful college quarterback and multiple time conference player of the week and those kinds of honors. So Lindsey Scott's probably going to be the backup, but they've also got Drew Plitt, a quarterback from Ball State, who was pretty successful in their run to the MAC championship. So they've got reasonable depth at the quarterback position, but they've also got an all XFL receiver, Deontay Burnett, who played his college football at USC, will be back. And then they've got Devontae Lambert, an all XFL defensive lineman, and Jake Lucina, an all USFL offensive lineman, will be playing for them this year. And then you cannot forget that Marquette King, a punter from Fort Valley State, one of the best punters in the National Football League for a stretch there in like 2016 through 2018. Him and Pat McAfee had an incredible run as the two top punters in the league by a mile. So Marquette King's got a strong leg. He brings a lot of fun antics to the league. So and this is a league where field position is going to matter, especially at the beginning as teams are still getting used to each other. Having that kind of special teams weapon is a pretty big deal. So they're going to have a pretty good team. And then they also bring back Drew Samia, an offensive lineman that Bob Stoops coached at Oklahoma. So they're going to have a solid offensive line. They're going to have leadership at the quarterback position and depth at the quarterback position. And they've got reasonable playmakers to work with. So they're not going to be the best roster in the national or in the United Football League, but they're going to be a pretty competitive team.